Hello, everyone. It's your host, Seth Programmer. With me today, I have McDonald's favorite customer, Six from Tokyo. And yeah, this is the third time we've recorded this video, believe it or not. So yeah,
problems, a lot of problems.
Yeah, Six's brain problem. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So for real though, I ripped this topic completely off from someone else. It's on my algorithm. I believe it's from a guy named ThunderGod. I'll link his video down in the description. I did not come up with this topic. I'm completely yoinking it. Now, I didn't watch his video, so I don't know what he said or anything like that, but I did think it was a cool idea. I do love comparing Naruto and Sasuke throughout the series. So, yeah. Also,
before we start the video, I would like to tell you about a special offer I've received from today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Do you hate having data stolen from you without your permission? Or hate being restricted because of your location? Then Atlas VPN can help you with all that. All you have to do is switch to a completely different country, and boom! With a new IP and DNS address, suddenly you can browse safely on the internet and access content that may have been restricted before. This can also be done on multiple devices. Practically, you can be anywhere and still use it. Sound exciting? Well, Atlas VPN is running a special offer for the holiday season. You can get a 3-year subscription for $1.70 per month, plus 6 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. The offer is limited, however, to only this holiday season, so before time runs out, go grab the exclusive offer in the first link in the description. Also, did you know Atlas VPN can also save you money? Different websites have set prices based on the location you are in, so if you switch countries, the pricing will drop. You can get the best deals while shopping online, including subscription services and more. Go get it in the top link below. Thank you to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video.
if you guys want to jump to any fight that interests you, I will put all the chapters in the description. But otherwise, enjoy the talk. Me and Six might rush through this first part a little bit because this is the third time we recorded this.
We've done this 2 times before.
Yeah.
And this is, it's the less interesting part anyway.
Yeah, it gets more interesting around Shippuden. So, yeah. First fight is Sasuke versus Mizuki. Mizuki absolutely should win. Naruto had to get like a weird rage mental amp and make 1,000 shadow clones. And we know that Naruto is able to get the jump on Sasuke, which is a few clones, and tie him up, but then try to transform for Sakura. The thing about that as well, you might be able to say, okay, well, Mizuki is just a Chunin, right? And we've seen, Sasuke fight Chunin. Chunin from other villages are weaker than the Leaf Village. We know this for a fact because we've seen, say, a special Jonin named Genma, who is basically a Chunin with a Jonin-like attribute, which is his ninjutsu. He's able to face against Baki, and Baki is the strongest Jonin in the entire Sand Village. So this not even Jonin level Genma is taking on the strongest Jonin from basically the middle village, the bronze metal village, or the Sand.
Yeah.
So, which is like number 3, basically. So no, being a Chunin in the Leaf is different than being a Chunin in, the Rain Village, like the Demon Brothers, like Sasuke battled. Also, Naruto was nervous during that, so he was actually arguably nerfed. He wasn't Giga Amped like versus Mizuki. Mizuki is also able to give Iruka somewhat of a hard time. He throws a shuriken so hard, Iruka doesn't just like deflect it for Naruto or just yoink Naruto out of the way. He has to basically body block it. So, and we know that Iruka in the start of Shippuden thinks that Naruto should, or they're debating if Naruto has surpassed him at the start of Shippuden after Jiraiya's training. So that might be an implication that, Iruka might be, like, at least able to take on Chunin exams Naruto if he watched that fight or something like that. The next fight would then be Naruto versus Yoroi.
Naruto probably, like, 9 tails or something like that. Because Yoroi can absorb chakra. He's the guy Sasuke fought in, like, prelims or whatever.
Yeah.
So Yoroi can absorb chakra. He took a lot from Sasuke, but Sasuke was trying not to use the curse mark, whereas Naruto doesn't really have a choice with the Kurama chakra. It might take a little bit more draining since he had the 5-prong seal put on him, but ultimately the Kurama chakra should come out and Naruto should just be able to body Yoroi pretty easily with that. And overall, Yoroi just loses.
Yeah, so no matter what, Yoroi just loses, and Naruto, he was able to fight the Rain Ninja, who gave Sharingan Sasuke a hard time at the beginning of the series, even when fatigued after like 12 hours of fighting a Genjutsu. He basically one-shots all of them, even though they were able to somewhat fight Sharingan Sasuke early on in the Force of Death. So Naruto's no joke, on top of having 9 tails anyway.
Then we got Sasuke versus Kiba. This is another one that's kind of like Sasuke's probably just going to win. if he gets that like I can't lose type, I have to continue, go on, become stronger, mental imp, he's probably not going to have to use his curse mark for this, so he won't have to suppress it, which if anything will just buff him a little bit more, because when he did bring the curse mark out by mistake, it started making him cough up blood and whatnot before he's able to eventually just repress it back down. So Kiba should just be outed by a Lion's Barrage in the end. Because it's not like Naruto had to use any Nine-Tails chakra or anything like that to beat Kiba. Sasuke should be able to at least match that power with his mental amp. So yeah, Kiba's probably just going down.
Yeah, and you guys got to remember, you know, even after the Force of Death, after Naruto and Sasuke fight Orochimaru, they get amped and Naruto's one-shotting all the Rain Ninja. Sasuke with his Sharingan takes combos or at least multiple hits from Rock Lee, and then Rock Lee activates basically the first gate, he activates the Lotus. And then versus Naruto, he kind of just like spins him away like a ball and he just gets KO'd essentially. So even though it's base Sasuke probably should be able to at least do something similar at the end of the day. The next is Sasuke versus Neji. I'm gonna let you handle this one because Six, all he does with his free time is eat McDonald's and talk about Neji scaling. So I guess I'll just leave it to him.
Yeah, anyway, I don't even eat McDonald's, but that's beside the point. So Neji versus Sasuke, I talk about Neji a lot because Neji's like Contingent's character in part one. Not a lot of Contingent's topics in part one in general. But Neji being Contingent's character in part one is obviously revolving mostly around his interactions with Lee and how he would fight Sasuke. That's like his main topic, his main thing. So there's two ways to interpret Neji's speed, and kind of either way you go, it kind of pulls out a Sasuke W, but I'll just explain them both. The first one would be that Neji can react to Lee up to the second gate and just rotate him, but third gate and above, Lee can just completely eclipse Neji in speed based off the Night Guy statement, or the Might Guy statement, where Guy is just like, you know,
damn.
Lee needs Reverse Lotus, which is third gate and above, in order to overpower Neji's speed or whatever. So you could say that Neji could react to Lee up to second gate and just rotate him, and then, you know, pull out a W on a weakened Lee post using the gates. But then, like, the other way to interpret it would be just be that Neji can combat Lee up to that point and actually fight, swap hands with him. Lee in third gate would just overpower him or outspeed him. No matter which way you interpret it, it's still a Sasuke W. If you say Neji can just react to second gate Lee, then it's more than likely just Sasuke just going to pull out a Chidori and just run through him in order to get over it. And the other way of Neji actually combating Lee, you can say, okay, well, Sasuke scales the weightless Lee, Neji scales the second gate. So Neji would just shut down his chakra points. But like Naruto, Sasuke also has this alternate power source that he could use to sort of replenish himself. Now, the only counter to this would be the fact that Neji was able to gentle fist Kitamaru. But the difference between that and the Sasuke part is Kitamaru was already in his curse mark, so he can't draw on anything else. Whereas Sasuke is not already in his curse mark whenever he's fighting Neji. So he should be able to bring it out and just overpower him with Chidori, sort of like what he did against Gaara. Those of you who don't know, obviously he used 2 Chidoris versus Gaara, and he tried to pull out the third one. The third one started fizzling out completely. He activated his curse mark, which is sort of like giving in the hatred or whatever. You know, hatred amps to Uchiha, along with the curse mark just providing some chakra. He pulls out the curse mark, his Chidori completely comes back on without him even having to use hand signs, and he just tears Gaara's arm completely in half. If he does something like that, obviously Neji's probably not going to survive. So, you know, you probably just give the win to Sasuke at that point.
Yeah, Sasuke is also stated in numerous guides to be the strongest genin at this point, where we see, you know, Naruto versus Gaara, obviously. But if you think that Sasuke is the strongest genin or whoever's there at the time, because of his Chidori, then it would overpower Neji's rotation and would one-shot him. And if you think it's just Sasuke is just, in general, is just the strongest, he would just outbox Neji somehow, you know? So either way, he should probably just be able to win if he eventually whips out Chidori. And because of the curse mark, he can survive getting pressure pointed if he gets outboxed at first. Next is then Naruto versus Gaara. We've already seen this in the manga. It'd be a little bit more awkward here, though, because obviously Naruto wouldn't have like the friendship amp. It'd be more of a tournament setting. But if things do really get bad, Naruto does have QB chakra, which can let him, you know, fight and overpower Neji, who's apparently third gate Lee level, by the way. So he'd probably be able to box Gaara up with his, you know, QB chakra. And worse things come to worse, he can summon Gamabunta. That thing can scare Orochimaru a little bit. He's bodying Gaara. It's not a competition. Yeah. After that, it's then Naruto versus Itachi. All right, boink. You know, he gets kicked away. GG. that's it. Then you have Sasuke versus Tsunade and Kabuto, and the Search for Tsunade arc, Sasuke would take over. Versus Tsunade, we know that Naruto and Sasuke can fight on the rooftop a little bit, and this is after Naruto is arguably stronger than he was in this fight. So Sasuke would probably, maybe do slightly better, but, probably not that much different, because even at the very end, after the whole Sannin showdown or whatever, Tsunade still flicks him away. So Sasuke's getting flicked. That's that. That is just over. And then when Kabuto comes to fight him, it'd probably be pretty similar, except Kabuto wouldn't underestimate Sasuke or look down on him like he does Naruto. And you have to remember when Naruto slammed the Rasengan into Kabuto, Kabuto actually tanks it by focusing all his chakra into his stomach. He doesn't tank it necessarily. He uses all his stamina. He's still damaged. He's like, oh wow, I can't even heal it all. And he's falling over. But the Chidori in part 1, it may have been retconned later, or maybe Sasuke amped it more or mastered it more. Chidori in part 1 is weaker than Rasengan. So it just does less to Kabuto, and the situation would just be worse. If anything, it'd be the same thing. Then you have Naruto versus Sound 4. So the Sound 4, they jump Naruto, and Naruto's a character who has more chakra than Kakashi, but it always depends on his mindset to show how he uses it, right? So if he has a good mindset, he's suddenly fighting Gaara, who's above Jonin level in the data books. You know what I mean? He's the ultimate weapon of the third strongest village. He's fighting a tailed beast when he's in the right mindset. You know what I mean? But versus the Sound 4, he probably wouldn't have this mindset. They'd probably just jump him out of nowhere. And these two were able to fight, fatigued Genma and Raido. Those two are able to go on Akatsuki suppression units. They're that strong. And even Shizune, who is considered good by Kabuto, who's Kakashi level, is wow, I cannot believe those two were defeated. That's crazy to me. So the Sound 4 are probably just jumping Naruto and then catching him off guard.
And then Sasuke versus Kimimaro. Obviously, Kimimaro is super strong. Sasuke is more compared to Kimimaro by Jugo in the second interaction because of the way he can use his curse mark and whatnot. So obviously part 1 Sasuke is probably not getting it over on Kimimaro here. He's also only got 2 Tomo by this point, even though he does have Curse Mark 2 as shown he came out the barrel. He was just more so scared to activate it versus Naruto rather than not having it and getting it later. He said that he was I don't really know what's going to happen if I fully unleash this. So Kimimaro is probably just going to beat up Sasuke. The only really way you could say Sasuke would win this is if you make some weird narrative type argument and say that Kimimaro would just let Sasuke go. But that's not really a W.
Yeah, so. And the thing about Kimimaro as well is that he fights, 1,000 Narutos or whatever, and then as he fights, he gradually gets weaker. So because of his sickness, he gradually just goes weaker. So by the time, Gaara and Rock Lee are fighting him, he's getting fatigued and he's dying. He's literally dying of illness. And then when Gaara comes, he's really, croaking over from illness. So he just only gets weaker by that time, but earlier on, when he's fighting Naruto, so Sasuke's case here, he would be at full power, basically. He's not at full power because apparently he ran to Jugo's prison and then ran to the battlefield so fast, no one knew he did that, but Kimimaro would pretty much be, more fresh than he is versus, Gaara and Rock Lee, and he has Curse Mark 2, which is better than Sasuke's. He would just mop him up.
Right.
Now we get to Shippuden, where the fights get a little bit better. A lot more interesting, at least. Part 1 is very boring for me when it comes to versus battles. No offense to those that like them, but Sasuke and Sakura versus Kakashi as the first one. The bell test.
Yeah.
Sasuke on his own is pretty much strong enough to fight Kakashi solo. We know that even the base Sharingan Sasuke that Naruto and Sakura saw. Sakura went to Tsunade and they talked about it. Tsunade's nope, he is on drugs. There is no way he's so strong. He has to be using forbidden jutsu to amp his power. It's just base Sasuke. Naruto, after beating Kakuzu with Rasen Shuriken, basically, because he kind of solo him, and then because Kakashi's well, I could have near deathed him or whatever. He's he gets really insecure and depressed because he's not catching up to Sasuke, implying he thinks Sasuke would be stronger than Kakashi in the Kakuzu fight, and probably Kakuzu as well. And then not only that, but you have Sakura just supporting Sasuke. They'd easily get the bell if they needed to. Only lose condition is if Sasuke launches Kirin or something and it vaporizes the bells. I guess you can't get them. But yeah.
So the next part would be Sasuke, Kakashi, Chiyo, Sakura versus the Itachi clone. Now, the real difference here is obviously Sasuke is a much stronger combatant or a stronger partner to Kakashi than Naruto is. But Sasuke, when he sees Itachi, he's kind of like a rage goon at that point. He just wants to kill him. Like we see this whenever he finds him, whenever the Crow clone tells Itachi, or when the Crow clone of Itachi tells Sasuke where Itachi wants to fight him. Sasuke obviously just starts attacking it. He starts going ballistic on it. He hits it in the back with Chidori and kills it or whatever. So Kakashi's little setup there for Itachi might not go exactly according to plan, but Itachi's probably just going to draw this out a little bit to stall them and then just die anyway, the same way he did in the main timeline. Because in the main timeline, you can clearly see Itachi died on purpose. Like when Naruto hit him with the Rasengan, he literally started smiling. It's not something that Itachi would even get hit by. Like Itachi getting taken down by base Naruto and Kakashi is kind of absurd anyway. So, it's probably just going to go in their favor again.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple. Itachi kind of sandbags the whole fight. Next fight is then Sasuke and Kakashi versus Deidara. Sasuke does not have Orochimaru, but Deidara might also be weaker too because Deidara just got done fighting Gaara and using a lot of stuff or whatever, and then they, kind of bring his body over there, and then they basically immediately do a sealing jutsu. Deidara usually prepares for fights in advance, so when he fights Sasuke with Orochimaru absorbed, he's like coming for a guy who he thinks soloed Orochimaru. Now, Kisame and a lot of the Akatsuki actually think Orochimaru is actually powerful. Like, they actually respect his power a lot. In fact, Kisame actually respects defeating Orochimaru more than Sasori, Kakuzu, or any of them. He's like, what? That was insane. He beat Orochimaru. What? And then Deidara hears this and, he goes after him. So Deidara prepares a lot for this Sasuke fight. So he might be just weaker here. Not only that, but it's Sasuke and Kakashi versus Deidara. Kakashi alone can rip Deidara's arms off with Mangekyo. So Deidara is running for his life. There's just absolutely no way he's taking both of them at the same time here. If he thinks Kakashi was giving him a hard time there, Sasuke is just going to make it way worse than just two tails or one tail Naruto or whatever, chasing him down. As we know, Sasuke is considered above three tails by leagues from Orochimaru. So, yeah. Also, worst comes to worst, Kirin one-shots Deidara's strongest lightning jutsu in the entire series, at least until the Pain arc, stated by Zetsu. It's a completely different tier of jutsu. It would one-shot and negate all of Deidara's abilities if he had to use it. Kakashi and Sasuke both can see Deidara's C4 explosive jutsu. Unknown if Deidara can even use C4 if he even prepared for it at this point. And if he tries to self-destruct for whatever reason, let's say he gets cornered, Kakashi would Kamui his body away and he would just self-destruct in the Kamui realm. Next is then Sasuke versus Orochimaru. So, as we know, Sasuke is leagues above Three Tails, One Tail Naruto. But it's version 2 Four Tails Naruto that beats Orochimaru. Version 2 Four Tails Naruto, the thing about version 2 is it's multiple version 1 cloaks worth of tails different than the version 1. So, when you watch Killer Bee versus Kisame tries to yoink a bunch of tails off of version 2B and it brings him back to version 1, but he still has a bunch of tails. He's like, wow, he'd ripped 6 or something tails off worth of chakra there. So just because he only has one more tail in this version 2 does not mean he's only one more tail stronger. He's it's an exponential difference. It's not just one extra tail. So it's kind of hard to quantify. And Sasuke is also the only reason I ever beat Orochimaru was because he was sick. So that kind of answers it for you there. And Orochimaru here is not too sick. He can still fight, Also, even then, did you know Orochimaru kind of won the sick fight anyway? he kind of just he blundered because he didn't know, Sasuke could fight back his, body transfer. But if he wanted to, he could have just killed him, right there, if he really wanted to. So kind of depends how you think he would go about it. If he was trying to kill Sasuke, he easily could have. But I doubt he'd want to, but you could probably hold him off or at least get away.
Yeah.
Sasuke, Yamato, Sai, and Sakura versus Naruto. Now, if this is base Naruto, Sasuke alone can solo him very hard.
Yep.
If Naruto is nerfed in the sense that at this time when he actually meets Sasuke, you guys might not know this, but Naruto is actually extremely nerfed and fatigued when he fights Sasuke at the start of Shippuden. A lot of people don't remember, but Naruto, even running is falling over from exhaustion. Like, he can't even run properly. He then, on top of being so tired he's falling over because of the drain from the Four Tails, Orochimaru then fights him in the hallway until Naruto almost passes out. And Orochimaru's like, all right, I'll let you live, whatever. Like, go away. So Naruto is giga nerfed at this point. But let's just say hypothetically, Naruto, for whatever reason, uses the Nine Tails, even though it's completely out of character. He's completely fatigued. He would never do this. Let's just say he whips out the Nine Tails. Well, Sasuke is going to restrict it anyway.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't matter. So
the Sharingan is basically implied to have an upper limit. Madara implies this. Obito implies it as well, at least the 3-tomo. The Sharingan has an upper limit. You can basically get your 3-tomo Sharingan to full power. The data book also sort of implies this as well. With the Genjutsu Sasuke used on C, it says that Sasuke was using the upper limits of the Sharingan's hypnotism ability. So the ability to control Biju, you needing the MS to do that, is more so based on Uchiha mistaken lore rather than fact, because they think that Madara used the Mangekyo Sharingan to control the Nine Tails, when in reality, we actually get to see the flashback. We see that Madara says that the Biju are just servants of people with ocular powers. He does it with his base 3-tomo. Obito does it also with his base 3-tomo. So the Mangekyo Sharingan is not a requirement to control the Biju. Now, also to say that the Biju are being genjutsu'd by the Sharingan is a bit weird. It's never actually directly stated to be genjutsu, but they are like hypnotizing them in a way, so I can see, why people like came to the conclusion. So I think what they're more so doing is controlling these giant masses of chakra that the Biju are, because that's all Biju are. Biju are literally just pure chakra. That's how Kinkaku and Genkaku were able to get their chakra just by eating the inside of Kurama. It's literally just Biju are just straight chakra. So I think that the Uchiha just control the Biju with their Sharingan, but they don't actually genjutsu them. So Sasuke at this point, I think, should be able to just suppress the Nine Tails that comes out inside of Naruto.
Next, we have Sasuke with Kakashi and Yamato as backup versus Kakuzu. So Kakashi and Yamato as backup. Kakashi is fatigued here, but him and Yamato are able to save Naruto from Kakuzu numerous times. Whenever Naruto gets captured by Kakuzu because his Rasen Shuriken wore off or whatever and couldn't activate, Yamato and Kakashi are able to free him. So Sasuke is basically Sasuke versus Kakuzu, but he's able to make a few mistakes. That's pretty much the only difference. And from what we know, Sasuke is stronger than Naruto was when he fought Kakuzu, and all his jutsu kind of negate Kakuzu's a lot. Like, the thing about lightning style versus earth style, and the main thing about Kakuzu is his raw durability, right? Like, but but the thing about earth style versus lightning style is it seems like it's very implied throughout the whole series that lightning style just kind of negates earth style entirely. Unlike water and fire style, when they clash, they kind of cancel each other out, or a strong fire style can still fight it. It's almost like lightning just always cancels out earth style.
You see with the third Raikage, Sasuke versus Deidara. Like, the third Raikage literally just, no matter how many Earth Shinobi was up against him, how many put up a wall or Daido's rubber ball, he always just got right through it using his lightning release fingers or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. So it seems like lightning just negates it. And you see this in the Deidara fight as well. It negates activation, everything about it. It just makes it so like the chakra can't flow there or something. And the thing about Kakuzu as well is his base durability just has pretty much no feats at all. Like, Shikamaru throws a paper bomb at him and he dodges like, Kakuzu! And like Kakuzu's like, don't worry, I'm okay because I hardened my hand. And he says it because he hardened, implying a paper bomb would have hurt him in base form. Now, if you really want to get there, Sasuke does in fact use paper bombs. I don't know if that's needed. But
a long string of them, a lot.
A lot of them. But Sasuke has a lot of lightning styles that he could use on Kakuzu. He actually is more versatile with it than Kakashi. Now, he doesn't have lightning blade, but his Chidori is just so versatile. And if it does get down to it, and Sasuke does struggle for whatever reason to an extreme degree versus Kakuzu. He does have Genjutsu. We don't know what Kakuzu's Genjutsu resistance is at all. We've never seen him fight it. We also know that he does have Kirin, and Kirin, as I stated, is stated to be the utmost strongest different league lightning style jutsu ever seen, because it harnesses the, like, basically the entire atmosphere. There's no shinobi that can output a lightning style that fast, including Kakuzu and Kakashi. This is what Zetsu says. So Sasuke would basically just nuke Kakuzu with Kirin if he absolutely had to. But, you know, as it stands, Naruto thinks not being able to solo Kakuzu makes him weaker than Sasuke. So it's kind of like Sasuke would probably just beat Kakuzu, and Kakashi and Yamato would just help him if he ever needed it.
Yeah. So just to drive home this point, Kakuzu got hit by Naruto 2 times. Now, a lot of people would misinterpret the way Naruto was using his clones to land a hit on Kakuzu by saying that, oh, well, he needed clones for a diversion, so that must mean that he's slower than Kakuzu. That doesn't mean that whatsoever. For one, Naruto's using an incomplete version of a jutsu that he literally just got, and he can't use it many times, so he needs to land it. He needs to make sure that when he gets that jutsu off, it hits. So he fails one time, and we see what happens when he fails, because the Rasen Shuriken fizzles, and Kakuzu gets a hold of him. Had Kakashi and Yamato not been there, he would have died right there, right? But he does hit Kakuzu twice. So when Kakuzu enters this Jiangu mode or whatever, it's stated in the data books that he has no blind spots. So Kakuzu getting caught off guard by Naruto is a completely unfair argument, especially when you get into the idea that Kakuzu was watching Naruto make the clones in order to hit him with the Rasen Shuriken. So to say Kakuzu wouldn't be covering all angles when he notices the Rasen Shuriken is not something he wants to get hit with is also just kind of disingenuous in the first place. And then whenever Naruto is about to land the Rasen Shuriken, you see Kakuzu look at him, and he literally on panel goes, and then Naruto just hits him. So, and then like Seth said, Naruto views not being able to take down Kakuzu as him being inferior to Sasuke because he thinks Sasuke could do something like that. And then the image he gets of Sasuke is literally Sasuke in pure base form. He's got Sharingan on, but no curse mark. So he thinks that base Sharingan Sasuke could probably beat an opponent like Kakuzu, and he wants to prove that he can do it as well.
Something you guys need to realize about Sasuke at this point in the series is that Sasuke, in Naruto, Sakura's, and Tsunade's opinion, like, he is so powerful, even in base, that they straight up said, no, he's on drugs. Like, he's taking supplements. Like, he has to be roided or using, like, forbidden jutsu to amp his power. There's no way he's that powerful. And even versus Deidara, it's a little bit, like, inaccurate because Deidara is just long range. And Sasuke has to use a lot of chakra to kind of, like, you know, go through the ranges or whatever, and just, like, tank attacks from Deidara to kind of bait him and things like that. So it's not necessarily like a one-to-one matchup. So with that out of the way, Sasuke is just considered stronger than Kakashi. We know Kakashi can react to Kakuzu and Hidan attacking him at the same time with jutsu. So Sasuke would just be able to handle it.
Yep.
And he has Kakashi and Yamato just helping him. So next is Naruto versus Orochimaru Sick. So this would be Rasen Shuriken Naruto versus Sick Orochimaru. Now, Sasuke did whip out Curse Mark II to shred him to pieces, but if Naruto does somehow slam him with Rasen Shuriken, it would utterly just annihilate his whole body, more than likely. And in fact, I don't even, like, it would probably send him flying out of the hideout and he would just die. I don't even know if he would activate his blood, but if for whatever reason Naruto also becomes enraged, he'd just go Four Tails and just blast him to obliteration. You know, we already know he fought him when he was healthier. But if Orochimaru even somehow hypothetically knocked Naruto out to take his body like he did Sasuke with his, you know, blood poison, the Nine Tails would just be like, get out, and just yell him away, basically.
Yeah.
And then you'd have Naruto Orochimaru absorbed. Like, if Kurama would let that happen. I don't even know if he'd let it happen.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah, but then next you have Naruto versus Jugo. Now, this was Six's suggestion. In the manga, we don't really see this fight at all with like Sasuke and Jugo. It's kind of like it's more like a moment than a fight.
It's like a moment. Yeah. So if Naruto gets jumped here, like if he's just at the Orochimaru hideout for whatever reason and Jugo jumps him, he's probably gonna die. Just being realistic. But if he's able to make a plan, maybe he could figure out some way to fight around Jugo, like with some shadow clone tricks. And you know, Jugo's kind of enraged, so he's not gonna know what the Rasen Shuriken is. So maybe Naruto can get him with that and get him out of there. I just wanted to comment on it because Sasuke vs Jugo did happen, at least a little bit. He does like get in the middle of him and Suigetsu's battle as well, which I don't think Naruto could do in base like Sasuke did. But you know, I just wanted to just comment on Naruto vs Jugo.
It also depends, you know, is Naruto gonna whip out Nine Tails or whatever than that? Now, Kakashi does, you know, try to hype Naruto up as being stronger than him now, but here's why that's actually a bit unlikely. The reason I say that it's a little bit unlikely is because we see Kakashi versus Tendo Pain later, and we also see that Kakashi could 1v1 Kakuzu. Like, he would, if Kakashi 1v1 Kakuzu, he would have won near death with Mangekyo Sharingan. That was what was implied. He would have near deathed him with Mangekyo Sharingan, or done a lot better. Whereas Naruto is basically like knocking himself out and getting severely injured, just taking out 2 hearts from Kakuzu with like his strongest jutsu. But, you know, if you do think Naruto is Kakashi level, then the fight with Jugo might go a bit better. We do know that, you know, like base Sasuke with the Sharingan is able to restrict his movements with the white snakes. So it is possible that Naruto may be able to pull something off. With Rasen Shuriken, he'd probably kill Jugo. But it depends on a few things that you think. It depends on what you think the relationship between Naruto and even base Sasuke. Because remember, base Sasuke is considered roided out of his mind compared to Sakura and Naruto. And Sakura is strong enough to fight Sasori, an Akatsuki member. And yes, Sasori tried to kill her multiple times. And she was able to adapt to him to the point where she could eventually react to his moves. And then you have a slightly fatigued Sakura getting blitzed by base Sasuke no Sharingan. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Even though it's base Sasuke that restricted Jugo, it wasn't base. It was Sharingan with the Orochimaru Jutsu. That's not an anti-feat at all. Like, it doesn't even mean Naruto would do better somehow. And we don't even know if Kakashi was just hyping Naruto up, you know, trying to make him feel better or what. Because he kind of questions it a little bit himself later. I think he says, oh, wow, Naruto, you surpassed me. And then later in a ramen shop, he's like, you know, you could surpass me. Like, you know, so it's almost like he like took it back almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The next
it's like the Rasen Shuriken was his way to surpass him. And he's like, well, you can't use that no more.
Yeah. So now you have Naruto versus Deidara. So Naruto be taking the place of Sasuke. Naruto gets annihilated. The only way he would hit Deidara is if he made like a shadow clone ladder like he did versus Sasuke in part 1 and like swung it at the dragon like holding a Rasen Shuriken or something. But even then, like, Sasuke is faster than Naruto, a lot faster.
Yeah.
And Deidara is still able to react to him. So it's really questionable. The only thing that might happen is if Naruto sees Deidara and like remembers him sitting on Gaara's dead body and like gets like Four Tails enraged amp. That might be like more debatable. We know that Deidara was kind of like, he was like warning Kakuzu and Hidan. He's like, hey, like, watch out for that Nine Tails kid. You know, he was a little bit strong, you know, and like because seeing the Two Tails, you know what I mean? Let alone Four Tails version 2. So it's likely, you know, Four Tails version 2 would put the moves on Deidara. He'd probably blast him away. It's a little bit questionable if like C4 would just negate version 2 Nine Tails or not. I think we talked about this before. I forgot what we said though in the last video.
It was like it might, if like the Nine Tails has to breathe in because it might destroy Naruto inside of it, inside of the chakra.
Yeah, like it depends if you guys think that the Nine Tails is breathing while possessing Naruto's body, which I think it shows like a little bit of breath when it makes the Bijou bomb, but that might be different. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to say, but yeah. After that, it's Naruto versus Itachi. And this is Rasen Shuriken Naruto versus Itachi. Itachi just slams him. Even if Naruto goes version 2 Nine Tails, Itachi just suppresses the Nine Tails and just kills him.
This isn't debatable whatsoever. Like, even if you do say you need the MS to control the Nine Tails or whatever, Itachi has it. So
yeah, literally Itachi has it. even then, it's like, I think Itachi just outscales version 2 Naruto anyway, like with his own Susanoo and all that. So it's like,
it's almost like Itachi ran into this Naruto and he was immediately under Genjutsu and didn't even know it.
He literally just like opened his arm, like sent a swarm of crows, and they just put him under Genjutsu, and just Itachi just basically just instantly won, like already. So yeah. Now speaking of that, that's after a certain fight, which is Sasuke versus with the dual platoon. So that's like Kakashi, Yamato, Sakura, all of like the Konoha 11 guys, versus Obito. Obito just slams them the same way, while acting like he's not Obito. I think the same exact thing happens, which is crazy. You know, like, Minato thinks that you need a Kyuubi chakra. He thinks Sage Naruto's not enough. He thinks Naruto will need to tame the Nine Tails and get a Kyuubi cloak to beat or even contest Obito. So Sasuke is probably not doing anything, even with all of the dual platoon. It's the same thing. Now, the next one is a little bit more interesting. Now, this one is Naruto, Karin, Jugo, and Suigetsu versus Bee.
Yeah. It's like, okay. So we've been using versions of the characters, like at the time the fight happens, whatever. Naruto, we see Naruto getting Sage Mode in between the chapters where Sasuke is fighting Bee. Like, they're doing the type of stuff at the same time. So, like, new Sage Mode Naruto is getting destroyed by Bee. There's really nothing Naruto could do there. Even if you want to say he has like Jugo and Suigetsu with him, he's not good enough at controlling Sage Mode yet for that added benefit of teammates to really matter too much in this fight.
And even if Naruto goes 4 tails, Bee can outdo that himself.
Yeah,
he's just better.
8.
Like, yeah, he has 8. Like, even if he hit Bee with a Rasen Shuriken, I don't even think it'd matter. You know? Yeah. So it's like, after that, you then have Sasuke versus Pain. This one seems to go just in Pain's favor. Like, we see, this would be Taka Sasuke. So this would be like MS.
Yeah, it would be like B fight, right? Yeah, like, Sasuke does get a little bit healed up. And then, you know, that's when Zetsu makes the statement or whatever that Naruto is just stronger than him and Naruto lost the
Yeah,
pin.
exactly. So Zetsu says that Sage Naruto is stronger than Sasuke. He says, don't even bother going there. Naruto would light you up easily. And yes, Pain did, you know, have a few bodies killed by Naruto. But at the end of the day, Pain also soloed the entire village. He soloed Kakashi. He beat up everyone in that village that helped kill numerous Akatsuki members. He then, Chibaku Tensei'd have to fight like Naruto with 4 sensu beans on top of fighting like 8 tails, 9 tails. And he still almost won. Yeah. So,
Sasuke doesn't even have Susanoo at this point.
Yeah, Sasuke is just not winning. Even if Sasuke's like, I'm a Taurus, you know, Pain's like, all right, like, let me absorb that. Like, or he just, you know. So,
Shinra Tensei.
Yeah, Shinra Tensei, like, lots of things you can do there. Naruto versus the 5 Kage Summit. Now, this is its own video. There's another time.
This is post Pain arc, Sage Naruto. And the Danzo part is going to be like separate, like that's obviously next. So it's really it's the 5 Kage Summit, but it's really the 4 Kage and then Mifune. So the first people he runs into is the Raikage, Darui, and C. He does get Jugo, Karin, and Suigetsu's help here, which is going to help at least a little bit because we see the Suigetsu can combat Darui until Darui puts the lightning release on him. And C's not really a combative type. He's more of a genjutsu type of guy. So I don't think C's going to do too much in the battle, and Jugo should just be able to handle him. Just being completely honest. The only reason Jugo got beat last time, I'm pretty sure, was just because the Raikage off-guarded him at the end. So yeah, Jugo should be able to handle Darui and C, if anything, if he goes like full super rage mode like he did versus V1 Raikage. Now, the real topic of discussion here, probably the most interesting one out of the whole Kage Summit, would be Sage Naruto versus the version 1 Raikage. Because we do see Naruto like kind of interact with Raikage later in supposedly, anyway, a faster form, obviously that being KCM. And he's having trouble keeping up with him. Now, the difference between KCM and Sage Mode, even though KCM might be faster in terms of like travel speed or something like that, is Sage Mode has like all the reaction speed. He can see basically everything. He has this insane threat perception So if the Raikage does come at him, Naruto should be able to get out of the way. And
by this point too, Naruto's Sage Mode gets so much better that you have to remember when he's on, Mount Miyaboko and he's like learning it, he doesn't know anything's happening. The second he walks out in the War Arc with Sage Mode, he can sense like the entire
whole
planet.
Like, literally the whole world.
So his Sage Mode is insanely more advanced. He did practice it a little bit or was thinking about it for sure. But the other thing too is that not only is he stronger now, he gets used to it. He also had the pain battle. He probably got amped from beating pain because of his new mentality. We know mentality affects the Naruto characters in terms of strength. He was already stronger than Sasuke and Zetsu's opinion anyway. And then he just gets better. So he probably just does better than Sasuke, at least at the beginning.
But Sasuke does get like the rage imps and whatnot in the Kage
Sasuke does
Summit.
get stronger. Sasuke does get stronger. But the point of that is that Sasuke is supposed to be encroaching on Naruto's level. Like that's supposed to be the point. He's supposed to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna surpass Naruto now. The other thing too that's interesting, Obito doesn't think that Sasuke is stronger than Pain or Nagato. So it's like
the Kage Summit was supposed to be Sasuke getting the rage imps to get to like pain level and whatnot.
And then Obito's like, oh, he actually underperformed. Like,
I thought he would do better.
Implying that Pain Nagato would have done better or something. So Naruto probably would do pretty decently in this tournament or this, I guess, tournament or like matches or whatever. It's kind of like tournament like. He's almost like just going like through the rounds. He would survive probably the Raikage if he does get away, and then he's like, let's just say hypothetically he's trying to find Danzo and he like gets out of that room. He would then go to the room. He'd get attacked by Chojuro. He should be able to react to Chojuro. He should be able to be stronger than Tsunade at this point. Tsunade is like a relative to the Raikage, and we know that Mei is stronger than Chojuro, and Tsunade is stronger than Mei. So it'd be really unlikely that Chojuro would even catch Naruto off guard and slam him into that room with Mei. That situation probably wouldn't even happen. He'd probably just chase Danzo off, and that would be the Kage Summit. I'm not saying he would kill anyone in this summit, but he should be able to survive and find Danzo eventually. And with Sage Mode, it would be only easier. With Sage Mode, he'd probably know where Danzo is. He doesn't need Karin to do it.
Yeah, he might not even go in the. He might not even keep fighting the Raikage. Like he would know Danzo left or whatever, and just leave.
He'd probably just make a shadow clone to fight the Raikage and be like, all right, bye. Like I'm gonna get Danzo. Like, and that's it. So
yeah.
The other thing, too, about this Kage Summit is that it would be in character if Naruto is going to go into the Kage Summit that Sasuke was prepared for. He might do the Pain strategy and even the Boruto Naruto strategy when he's going for Code, where he would create two clones to have basically like two Senzu Bean recharges of Sage Mode. That'd probably be very in character. So Naruto basically has two Senzu Beans when he goes into this place. Now, whether he would use them in the Kage Summit or versus Danzo, I think we went over that he'd probably only use them versus Danzo if he needed to. I don't think he'd actually need one versus the Raikage. He'd probably only scrap with the Raikage for a little bit and then get out of there, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But what do you think about Naruto versus Danzo?
So Naruto versus Danzo is really going to go completely in Naruto's favor unless Danzo can draw out a stalemate long enough because Naruto's not willing to kill him and use Koromatsu Kami on him. But that's really the only way Danzo could do that. Now, an interesting thing about Koromatsu Kami, especially the one Danzo uses, because Koromatsu Kami I do think has two different versions. In the anime, we see them break Mifune out of Koromatsu Kami by sharing chakra with him, the way you would break anyone out of a normal genjutsu or whatever. So if he does, it's possible that the Sage chakra in Naruto, Danzo couldn't control anyway in order to put him under the genjutsu. Because Sage chakra does just like flow throughout your body. You need to manipulate someone's chakra supply. And I know the Sharingan does it via injecting their chakra into someone else's eye, but they still have to manipulate the chakra going into their brain. And Danzo, as far as we know anyway, has absolutely no way to manipulate Sage chakra or even know that he can. So the genjutsu might not even work. And then the other thing too is like Sasuke's or not Sasuke, but the curse mark Danzo puts on Sasuke, it sort of immobilizes him or whatever, right? But we do know that these curse marks that Danzo uses can be overpowered because Sasuke literally grows in power and just overrides that curse mark completely. And then too, just with the Sage Mode thing I was mentioning earlier, we don't even know if those curse marks can control Senjutsu so it might not even work on Naruto in the first place. So really, all of Danzo's win cons are kind of like maybe, but all of Naruto's win cons are yeah. He should be able to win.
It's not even just Naruto versus Danzo, by the way, because it's actually Naruto versus Danzo with Obito assist.
Yeah.
So if Danzo even did somehow get Naruto, unlikely, but if he did, Obito would just save him. Like that'd be it. Like that'd just be how it goes. After that, though, it's then Naruto versus Kakashi. In this fight, this is an interesting one because we know, Kakashi was able to fight Pain, Kakuzu, and all these guys. He's able to scrap with Sasuke a little bit as well. But then when Sasuke does his Susanoo arrow, Kakashi's like, that was so fast that I couldn't even move out. I couldn't move. Like, I had to use Mangekyo Kamui or else I just died right there. That was it. Like, he couldn't do anything else. That was the only action he could take. And Sasuke is pretty much the first opponent to ever just kind of like be like, oh, wow, I would have just instantly died right there. That's it. Like, like that was like a huge, power spike in the series, I think. So Kakashi's Kamui is very fast. It's arguably, faster than Tendo Pain's combat speed normally. So it kind of depends on what you think, Sage Naruto versus Tendo is. Although Sage Naruto is superior to Tendo Pain anyway. You can fight numerous Pains at the same time. Pain can't even damage Naruto, actually, like one-on-one anyway. But in terms of reaction speed, Kakashi probably could react to a Rasen Shuriken or at least a few of Naruto's attacks with Kamui if he had to. But the second he uses Kamui one time, he's done for. It's absolutely GG. And Naruto has a lot of ways to bamboozle Kakashi and catch him off guard. He is the #1 unpredictable ninja. So it is very likely he would find something to catch Kakashi off guard. He would just out-stamina him, and he would just outscale him as well. So it's just very unlikely that Kakashi would win. But if he did just like instantly Kamui his head off and it worked somehow, there you go. GG, right?
GG, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, it's then Sasuke versus Kurama. So we actually talked about that a little bit already, but...
Yeah, so, you pretty much got it going the way, like, Sasuke is going to Genjutsu Kurama, and then, he's got him.
That's it. And at this point, he has the Mangekyo Sharingan, so...
Yep.
Now, the only way he doesn't is if you...
Oh, wait, he's blind.
If you want to take, the theme of the video, which is how strong was the other guy at this time, and Sasuke is just blind. So, yeah, Kurama would light him up. But if he had the MS or EMS, he would
win.
Yep. And then same thing with Sasuke versus Raikage.
Or the Raikage. Yeah, he's blind. Yeah. But if he had EMS, he would win.
He wins. Yeah, there you go.
Sasuke and Onoki versus Mu.
So at this time, I think this is like a few hours or minutes.
Yes, a little bit before he gets EMS.
So it's fair to say that if Sasuke had to get in this battle, he'd just rip the bandages off and be like, damn, everything's kind of bright, but I'll manage, I guess, or something like. So Sasuke pretty much has EMS anyway, and we know that he massively outscales a KCM1 Shadow clone. He massively outscales a KCM1 clone. He's basically like in between full power KCM1 and KCM2. He's basically in between. So there's no way if a KCM1 clone can do something that he can't. Right? He's just way better. So he would just mop Mu up, and he has a Onoki there as well to support. He could Genjutsu Mu easily. And the same thing goes with the third Raikage. If his Sage Mode Shadow clone can do it, Sasuke can do it too. Yeah, Sasuke would probably be able to land either Amaterasu or he would land an Inferno-style Susanoo arrow, which could blitz people as fast as the Raikage or almost as fast as the Raikage. And then you have just Genjutsu. You can just Genjutsu him. And unlike Killer Bee, the Raikage is not getting up, and it's a stronger Genjutsu as well. So, yeah, that's pretty easy. Now, this one's more interesting, and that's Sasuke and Bee versus Itachi and Nagato. So Sasuke and Itachi are in a pretty similar weight class, but we know that Itachi is actually a little bit better. Like, he's able to do more. And in fact, Kabuto thinks that even in the illusion he's in, the Izanagi or Izanami, whatever. I always get those confused for some reason. But in the illusion he's in, he actually believes Itachi is able to fight him like that. And then we see him kind of like manhandle Sasuke. He's like, if I beat Itachi, I'd manhandle EMS Sasuke. That's pretty much what he says. But then he believes that Itachi is actually giving him a rough time. And not only that, but Itachi is actually able to fight him off as well.
Also, Sasuke's partner here it's not really good. Like B's not
B
really he's not really like that. Like everyone
B
else
is
here.
just weak Nagato right here.
Yeah, like B is strong, but he's not with Itachi, EMS, Sasuke, and Nagato. So Nagato's like mopping up B, and then Sasuke's got to take on Itachi and Nagato at the same time.
Right.
And then, like Seth mentioned earlier, the Kabuto fight just shows us Itachi reacts faster. He's more experienced. He's smarter. So that fight's not going in Sasuke's favor. Just being as honest as possible, it's not.
B basically just gets killed and Sasuke gets jumped. Like that's very much what happens. So now you have Naruto and Itachi versus Kabuto. So this would be KCM 1 Naruto versus Kabuto. Actually, was Naruto in a higher level KCM yet? Did he get KCM 2 by the time Kabuto comes out?
Yeah, he had KCM 2. He gets KCM 2 in 571. Kabuto comes out 579 or 580.
So he has KCM 2. So KCM 2 Naruto and Itachi versus Kabuto, that's just a stomp. Like, you know, like in Itachi could pretty much solo him anyway. You know, some people think Itachi was actually nerfed because of Sasuke's presence, actually. So, you know, and you might be saying, okay, well, what about if Kabuto just sound genjutsu? Well, for one, if Kurama and Naruto are working together, they are. Kurama could just solo break him out, and then Naruto could break Itachi out. But even if Naruto doesn't have the Sharingan to, like, you know, cancel each other's jutsu out, Itachi could cancel out Naruto's, and then Naruto could tap him out, and it'd be the same thing. It'd just be easier. So that'd be it.
Yep. Easy. And then we got Sasuke B, Kakashi Guy versus Obito, and then later Madara. Sasuke's overall not a good combatant for this fight. Naruto was definitely way better for this fight. This is when Naruto had KCM 2. Now, obviously, we see later Sasuke's like literally growling at the fact that Naruto can control so much chakra, like he's implying he's not on KCM 2 level yet. This is literally while he has on a Nine Tails cloak that Naruto gave him. So I think it's pretty disingenuous.
He literally is amped.
He's literally amped. Yeah, it's pretty disingenuous to say that Sasuke would scale to KCM 2 Naruto that can fight alongside these guys. So Obito, you know, if anything, he's gonna, you know, stalemate this out. Then Madara is gonna arrive, and then it's pretty much GG from there because no one's getting healed by Naruto. Kakashi's run out of chakra long ago, so did Guy. So it's just Sasuke and B. B obviously can't keep up with these two with just Sasuke. So it's not really.
I think you guys got to remember too. A thing that people forget is that Kurama is smarter than Kakashi. And Kurama actually gives Kakashi chakra. He basically has Naruto clap, you know, Kakashi's hand and throws him into Kamui to combo Obito. And the only reason Kakashi was in there and out was because of Kurama giving him energy and like basically almost a strategy, which Sasuke would not be able to do at all. You know, Sasuke can't do that. And then later, when it becomes Sasuke and Shinobi Alliance versus Obito and Madara, the second the Ten Tails does a cataclysm, they all die. Like, because
Sasuke's not sharing any chakra. Sasuke can't share that much chakra.
So maybe Sasuke could be like, oh, I protected myself with Susanoo or something. But the whole alliance is dead other than him. So then it's just Sasuke versus Obito, Madara, and the Ten Tails, basically. And that's... You know, do I have to explain that? Like, I don't know.
Sasuke loses.
Yeah. So the last battle here on Shippuden is Kaguya versus Sasuke in the Ice Realm. Now, yes, Sasuke and Naruto both fought Kaguya in the same battle, but Kaguya does throw Sasuke into the Desert Realm and 1v1s Naruto for a good bit of time. So in this case, she would throw Naruto in the Desert Realm instead, and then 1v1 Sasuke. We actually see Sasuke versus Kaguya later, when Sasuke should be arguably more powerful, as he has to get used to his six paths abilities as opposed to Naruto. And he's just getting video game comboed by Kaguya easily. He's basically almost dying. And Kaguya is actually weaker here, because Kaguya not only had to fight Naruto a bunch, like do a ton versus all these clones, and then boil release, but also when she transfers dimensions, she loses a ton of chakra. So Sasuke is just... Basically, he'd probably die. I don't even think he could divert Kaguya's attention enough for Naruto to come back, because Naruto is stronger than Sasuke when they first get their six paths. Naruto has full mastery over all his abilities. He has all his truth-seeking orbs. He has so many things going for him, and he only gets weaker as it goes along, and Sasuke only gets stronger, and then they stalemate after all of the fact. So Sasuke is probably dying here versus Kaguya in the Ice Realm, but After that, we then have the last, which is Sasuke versus Toneri. Now, this kind of depends on if you think Naruto and Sasuke are like equals, and then Naruto fights Toneri with like KCM 2, basically, and then he arguably activates 6 paths at the end and one-shots Toneri. But I think there might be more information that Sasuke is actually stronger than Naruto in the last, but...
Yeah, there is in the novel. The novel just says that whenever Sasuke comes in to destroy the meteor or whatever, it just calls him Kakashi's strongest student ever or something like that. The statement goes something along those lines. It means he's stronger than Naruto.
Yeah, so if you guys... Obviously, Kakashi did teach Naruto, Rasen Shuriken and all that, so he's a teacher anyway. Now we're going on to Boruto, which is Naruto versus Kinshiki in the Kaguya realm with Momoshiki in the back. This fight is weird because Sasuke is actually nerfed versus Kinshiki. Early on in Boruto, Sasuke going to another dimension uses about 30% or so of his chakra, give or take, because if he ever teleports twice, it removes the Tumos from his Rinnegan. So it's usually considered about 30-ish%, maybe 40-ish, depending on how you look at it. So Sasuke is nerfed when he fights Kinshiki, and he's like, all right, because I'm nerfed, you know, I shouldn't fight these guys. And then Momoshiki as well is in the background. He's like, this is a bad situation. There's basically 2 of these guys, and Momo's probably stronger. I'm getting out of here. So it kind of depends if you think Naruto would be nerfed because he can't do that. So for him to be there, someone would have to teleport him there. And I guess if we're making this, you know, consistent for the video's sake, Naruto isn't nerfed when Sasuke is fighting them. So you'd be at full power if we were to switch them.
Yeah. And Kinshiki gets absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
Like in the manga, you have Naruto beating up Fuse Momo alone. Like this is different from the anime. In the anime, Fuse Momo is like taking on Naruto and Sasuke. But in the manga, Naruto literally beats him up alone. Like, you know, post Kinshiki absorption. Kinshiki should obviously be much weaker than Fuse Momo, considering he is Momo plus Kinshiki. So Naruto should be able to just obliterate Kinshiki. It kind of gives you an idea of sort of what Sasuke should have been able to do at full power as well.
Yeah, because obviously they're relative.
Momoshiki should also just get beaten up by Naruto. Really, the only reason Momoshiki even captured Naruto in the first place is because Naruto had to hold back whenever he was at the village. It was just like Naruto couldn't fully blast away that bomb that Momoshiki sent at him because it would just blow everyone else away. Yeah, he was fully capable. He just couldn't do it and, you know, unalive every one of the tuning exams.
And then when Naruto fights Fuse Momoshiki and them later, he's at half power because, you know, half his chakra gets stolen in the anime. And then Sasuke, you know, still early Shippuden, he teleports like a swarm of people. And so both of them are just both nerfed. And that's why when they fuse their chakras together, it probably is more than just 1 + 1, but when they fuse their chakras together, they basically just obliterate him. So base Momoshiki is not fighting Naruto at all, and Kinshiki is just getting blown out completely. Kinshiki just gets one shot, probably. I'm gonna be honest, but other than that, though, I'll leave this next one up to you because we have the biggest Delta fanboy of all time, Six from Tokyo. What do you think about Sasuke versus Delta?
So, common misconception of my words is that I think Delta is as strong as Naruto. That's like a hyper literal interpretation of the things I'm saying. Because if you ignore the context behind what I'm saying, yeah, you could probably get that. What I'm saying when I say Delta scales to Naruto is that in terms of taijutsu, she can keep up with him and hurt him, and Naruto can keep up with her and hurt her. They're relative from a taijutsu sense. Naruto says he's going all out, then he starts using taijutsu after figuring out that ninjutsu does not work on Delta. We obviously see when he does learn how to use ninjutsu on Delta, like with the Lava Rasen Shuriken and with his gigantic Rasengan, they both one-shot Delta. The Rasen Shuriken knocks her legs off and the Rasengan just like rips her body apart, basically. She's completely unconscious. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that. And then Sasuke is just going to have an overall easier time with this because of his Rinnegan. Like, if Delta ever goes and grabs the kids, Sasuke can just switch out with them, Amanote Jakara, or with his sword or something like that and stab Delta with it in the process. It's really, he just has a much easier time. And then when you throw in the fact that, like, okay, Naruto and Sasuke are kind of relative in taijutsu as well, and then throw on the Chidori for Sasuke, he should just be able to run that through Delta's chest and end her So he overall has an easier time with Delta than Naruto does.
Yeah, and other than that, that's pretty much every fight in the series. The only other ones is, you know, Barry and Mode Naruto, but at that time, Sasuke just gets obliterated. Obviously, he can't even see, he can barely see the rods that Naruto is fodderizing, like, fly at him. So, yeah, Ishiki obviously annihilates Sasuke. The only other fights that we're not sure about are obviously, like, anime-only stuff. Like, maybe you could bring up, like, Naruto versus Urashiki or something, but, you know, obviously Naruto should destroy Urashiki. You know, Urashiki's not just going to be able to throw a fishing line and rip his chakra out like Sasuke. Naruto's chakra is, like, kind of, like, weirder in that sense, or he has more of it, so he wouldn't be as affected by that chakra hook or whatever, kind of like attacking him. It'd be really weird for him just to get like fodderized by Urashiki or whatever when they first meet. And
Sasuke was also fatigued when that fight first happens.
Yeah, so that's the only other one. Other than that, maybe Sasuke goes against Code with Shikamaru, but Naruto doesn't even get involved in that fight. So Sasuke probably wouldn't either. So other than that, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was actually hard to make, as low effort as it seems, because we've recorded it so many times. But hope you guys did enjoy it. Leave a like. Please sub. Let's get to 1 million. Check out ThunderGod's video if you're interested. And other than that, bye.